Call the meeting of the Borough West Easton Council to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Pete Manana.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, David.
Mr. James. Here. Mr. Dees.
Here.
Mr. Lewis. Here. Mr. Romano. Here. Mr. Bolash. Here. Ms. Lake. Mr. Brightinger. And Mr. Cook.
Here. Quorum. All right, approval of payments. Payments from the general fund check. I need a motion to approve checks 17080 through 17134.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion on any of these checks? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Approval online payments from the general fund. They're on the back page of your AMS billing sheet. Need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Any questions on the online payments, the online charges? See none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Motion to approve debit account payments. Again, the list is on the back page of your AMS billing system sheet. Need a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
A second.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Approval of deposits, I'm sorry, one more. Approval of sewer fund account checks 2078 through 2081. Need a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
All right. Second.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Approval of deposits and receipts for March of 2019.
I'll make the motion.
All right. Second. All right. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Approval of minutes from March 11th, 2019 council meeting. Motion to approve minutes is presented.
I'll make the motion.
All right. And a second.
I'll second.
All right. Any discussion? Seeing none? All right.
Okay, no.
Okay. All right. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Approval of the treasurer's report, March 2019. Motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
All right. Second.
I'll second.
Any discussion on our treasurer's report? See none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Public comment? Yes?
3 Hargraves, 213 2nd Street. I saw in North Valley Law where someone didn't return from the DUI center again on Friday. And then another one, was the borough notified of it?
Yeah. They sent us we got an email on that. They told us that the warden told us it's okay if we don't return.
Take it to the big house.
Huh?
Take it to the big house, son.
Yeah. If they do ever return, they go back to the population. problem when they don't return. It's more of a problem when they come back and, park in the street or do whatever.
Well, particularly if they're a drug addict and they're looking for drugs, and they're looking for money to buy drugs if they're in a treatment center. That's a problem.
These aren't treatment, though. These are just first offenders. They're deemed safe enough to go out in public and come back at night.
So Whitney was a second-time offender.
They still, they gave them work release. They feel that they can go out in public for their 8 hours a day and do what they gotta do. So.
Trudy, if they went to work in Easton, they'd come back. I don't want Easton.
Yeah, that's one way.
That's our bonus, though. We still get it. Yeah, we were informed.
Because it's embarrassing to read some of the comments. You read the comments about
Well,
that stuff? About, who wants to live in West Easton?
Yeah, I guess that's, without really knowing, you guys know that.
Yeah,
But without really knowing, you can make all. Thank you. Anyone else? No? All right. Engineers report. Anything, Joan, from the engineer? Office report.
The first one we have is to approve the use of the field by the Wilson Rec Board. The resolution.
All right. As we do this every year, we need a motion for them to use the T-ball fields over here.
I'll make the motion.
Is there any discussion? Anybody have any questions?
We've been provided with insurance, proof of insurance.
And then they kind us to not schedule anything then.
We have,
Just a side question, what did we figure out about the bathroom problem last time? Somebody couldn't use the bathrooms or get into the bathrooms.
Do the coaches have the keys?
Yeah.
Coaches don't have the key.
one coach didn't, they weren't using, but then they had the keys, but the kids were still going inside the building, so they got it all straightened out. So we won't have that, we shouldn't have that problem. Instead, either me or Jeff attend rec board meetings too, so if there is any issues, we'd be happy to bring them up to the rec board. All right, any more discussion on it? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Okay.
And I wanted to officially, I know I emailed everybody, but the CD that we wanted for $250, we could only get for $235 because once the interest is up, it would make it over the $250, so it wouldn't be insured. So I just want to be able to put that in the minutes for the future.
Right. So do we have to correct that, or do we have to motion that, or is that okay?
We should do a motion just to clarify.
All right. Just a motion to
What was the email?
235 versus 250.
I make the motion to increase the CD from 250 to 235.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion on that? All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, now we have to approve Bob as our delegate for the PSAC conference he's going to in June.
Okay. Motion to approve Mr. Lewis as a delegate for the PSAE conference in June.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, and you guys all know the egg hunts this Saturday before Easter. Check-in's 11:30, start around noon, anybody that can come and help, like last year, that was great. Be sure they don't start too early, and parents stay off the field.
They got all the age groups marked on.
What time do you guys think to be down there to start setting up?
Probably 10:30.
We'll be down at 10:30. Okay.
Some of you may have noticed Atia cut down trees over at 601 East. Mr. D's real life we have turned that over to our code guy. There's supposed to be a landscape buffer between two different.
Do you wanna clarify that and that?
Yeah, when I first heard about it, we have no, just to be, for general information, we have no tree ordinance, so to speak, like, you don't need a permit to cut down a tree. But as far as zoning goes, if you read the zoning regulations, it's under 271106 that a landscape buffer is required when an industrial district meets a residential district. And the landscape buffer, so that the residents have the view blocked from what you see now. I counted the trees, Mr. Tia cut down 47 by my count, and these things were at least 12 feet high. I talked to the engineer along with Joan, our zoning officer along with Joan. He agrees that they violated an ordinance. He's going to send them a letter. Hopefully it won't go to litigation, but who knows. I'm expecting the trees should be replaced, and not little 2-footers. I want to see 12-footers put back, so we'll see what happens. But for the rest of the council's interested, that's the regulations under zoning. So anyway, we're aware of it, we're addressing it, and probably another thing's going to take some time, but I want to see those trees back up. I was pissed.
Where was this again?
Right down East Street.
Along the fence line, he took all the trees down
All those arborvitae's right across from Hank's place.
last week.
Get out. Why? Just
Because
We can only guess why.
We did get a phone call this afternoon about them saying they're gonna replace all the sidewalks. So I don't know if he's gonna say that's why they had to do it, which to me, I'm not.
It's on the other side of the fence.
Yeah. And he would still, to do that, he would still have to come before either zoning or the council to get permission to remove these trees. He never did that. So that's the story on that.
And we got an estimate from our electrician, Mr. Shawshaw, today to do the work over at the Monument Park. It was $4,425. Dane, you want to tell them what that involves?
What it is we have to put a service drop out here with a meter base and electric panel that feeds all the lines and lights and services over there. The price is higher because it's a ground fault service and it's watertight. And all those liquid tight applications are always higher than, in value. So it's, concreting the poles in and making frames support the equipment, and then trenching over for the light, the pump, the outlets, whatnot. The whole thing's $4,400 and change.
I think it's not that expensive at all. I think if anybody else would pay twice that, so that's a really, really good price.
And it's something we had to do anyway, because
Yeah.
we wanted to get that light, the flagpole lit back up and the outlets back in service. So that includes everything, outlets, panels, switches, trenching.
And I'll be working with him on this project. I mean, he is 83 years old. So,
Great.
Well, we don't discriminate at the stage, he needs to go behind that machine.
That's great.
bless him.
He's a licensed electrician, so
Yeah,
no problem.
Yeah, he's always worked for the borough here, so.
We,
Do we have exactly, well, what did we say, up to 4,500?
you can make a motion up to 45.
I'll make a motion to approve up to $4,500 for installation of electric service to the Monument Park.
I'll second.
All right. Any more discussion? Anybody have any other questions? All in favor? Say aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Did you want to?
I don't know when that's going to be discussed.
Yeah, do you have more besides the quote that Bill gave
There's
us?
a quotes, Bill's not here, right?
Is this about the generators?
The generator, yeah.
can I suggest we wait until the mayor's report, because Dan, you have, me and Dan were there talking to the FEMA guy, things have changed on that generator situation,
All right, that's good.
for the better.
We'll look on, it's gonna save us $10,000, $11,000.
Well, he did get them to, remember, they kept sticking to having
Yeah.
commercial, and he came up with something that proved they didn't have to go commercial. That's why the prices went down.
Okay. We'll look in there. Anything else, John?
No.
Policies or resolutions for this meeting? Ordinances? Solicitors report?
Nothing as a report, but I have a series of matters in executive session about litigation.
As far as my report, I got an invitation to a General Assembly meeting. It's on the 30th of April at Penn State Lehigh Valley, Sauk Valley Road. This is the General Assembly of the Lehigh Valley Planning Commission. So I'm going, I'm opening it up if anybody else wants to go. If anybody else wants to go, I'll be happy to drive you or drag you along if you want to go. Again, it's on Tuesday, April 30th at 7 p.m. So if you're lucky, I'll get home in enough time and take a shower or have to work in the sewer all day. You know.
Can we go back to you on this?
What's that?
Can we get back to you on this?
Yeah, no problem. Let me know if you want to go. If you do want to go, you have to order tickets through Eventbrite. I could send you the email, the email link, and all you got, and it's a free fee if you want to go. I'm also going to remind you about the NIMS that Bill reminded us about last week. We still got to get that. We all have to go through that. I don't know if anybody had the opportunity to go to that on the April the 3rd for the 2-hour course at the 911 center. But we still have to do that. So I want to remind you about that. That's all I got. Mayor?
There's several subjects on committee reports that I'll let the committee members in charge of those committees make those reports. One of them, I don't know if I missed this, Joan. Matt and myself went over to the monument area, and Mike's tree service took that stump that was a little bit high in that one spot.
Right.
Did he come in for a check yet, or am I missing?
He hasn't sent a bill in yet.
Oh, okay.
I reminded him twice.
You reminded him? You didn't have a conversation with him? Okay.
He says Lady takes care of that.
Don't remind me.
Yes.
Hey, you got the trees down. They did a nice job.
As far as the generators go, I went to that Marion Music Library. I spoke about it last meeting, and that meeting was a couple days later with the 911 Center, Emergency Management coordinators up there. And one of the main subjects they had was communities are eligible for grants for generators. And it's there's a lot of money available, and not too many people are putting in for it. And he said we can get up to 3 generators. So he came down, met with Matt and myself. He did some paperwork because on our mitigation papers that we handed into the county, we added that we wanted a generator or multiple generators, which would be for here, the fire company, and the police station. So that next round will come up, what was that, Matt, end of July, August?
August.
So I think we have a consensus that we hold off and put in for that grant. It's a 75-25 match. You would have to match 25% of it.
Okay.
And it's up to $100,000. So there's plenty of money there, so we can put in for that.
Good.
The other thing,
I have a question. So the generator system that's going to supply this place with electric, if we need it, has a deadline so we can utilize that grant. Now, if we're not going to get the generators until August, how are we going to get this grant to put the generator in?
are you talking about a grant that we have now, we have to spend the money?
We have to have this project done by a certain date.
That grant that we have now is not specified for the generator.
We
No, it's not
discussed
just-
it last meeting.
Whatever it's used for has to be done by the end of May.
Correct. So how are we gonna get this done by the end of May if we don't get the generator till August?
No. The conversation was that a new round of grants will open up in August. We can hold off any estimates that we get for a generator now and not do it and put in for a grant in August, when the new round of grants come up. So I guess the consensus is to scrap the idea.
Yeah, I think, I think what he said is we had designated up to 20,000 towards a generator previously from a grant we already got from, I think, part of that
Well, that's what I
31,000.
said. We could spend that on other things.
Yeah, we can still spend that on police equipment or something else by May,
So part
so
of
we
your,
wouldn't lose the money.
so part of your committee report, you can designate that area to go back to other projects that we have. Maybe the
Recreation?
the park,
Anything to do
electric.
with the park?
Absolutely.
We did get a quote for it, you did get something for that, right?
I did, I wanted to bring that up with the
Okay,
grants, because it's not happy news.
all right.
The other things, I ran into someone that was leaving an establishment that I was going into, and he says, what's West Easton running the chop shop? So I didn't know if he was serious or not, and I went around the corner like 5 minutes later at Fifth and Iron, and this is what I saw, and it's probably still there. We called up the property owner and told them that their tenants have to remove that because we have an ordinance that specifies that you can't dismantle for any purpose an automobile, especially in your yard.
Those axles are missing that.
So the property owner was notified.
Okay. So are they gonna do anything about it, or?
Dave?
He stopped in, he already notified his tenant that it needs to be moved. He said he has a garage available somewhere else in the borough, and that his tenant was going to get the vehicle moved. All he asked is if the borough is going after his tenant for doing that, that we should also be addressing some of the other issues, some of the other homes in the borough and the falling apart condition that they are.
Fair enough.
One more thing, and I'll let the committees take care of other things, and I'll chime in if you need me to. The other thing is, if you read an article in the local paper, the city of Easton has 5 properties they want to cleaned up, and they're saying it's blighted, and some of the reasons why they're blighted are attached to the story. And I think that landlord with the tenants with the disabled car in their yard mentioned one of them. Now, this is spring of 2019. So we have ordinances about curbs, if you have a curb, we have ordinance about sidewalk, if you have sidewalks. We've got porches that are falling down, that looks like a blighted area. I think we have to act on them this year and get them cleaned up.
Do you have specific areas then, or?
Yeah, we have specific areas. So let's get proactive on making our community look better.
Can you share those, the areas later? I'll give you-
Yeah. Well, we'll make a list of them.
Okay, and then we can start, we can punch lists and
Yep.
start knocking some of these out.
Yes.
Because I mean, we can do it, or we can have, if we do it, we can charge them, we can back charge them.
If we have to do it, yes.
Yeah, we can back charge them.
But there's a process to go through. We can't just go and build.
They have to be notified.
Yeah.
It's all in one of those ordinances, I can get the number right over here. That's all I have for now, but like I said, I'll let the committees take care of some of the other subjects.
All right. Roundtable, council roundtable. Anyone? Nathan? All right, committee reports, finance,
No,
nothing? No meetings, good? Good till next 2 more months, 3 more months?
yeah, we would do it in June.
Okay. Property, highway,
None?
none? Meetings?
All right.
Okay, good, everything is good, property's good, highway is good. Public safety, personnel? Can you speak on behalf of them?
Well, we didn't, they didn't hold any meetings. I think Desiree canceled a meeting.
I think it was one of Desiree and Dave.
Yeah, that's one I couldn't make, so I can't speak to that one.
And she canceled the
And
next
then
one.
the next one's canceled. I will say, as far as public safety, I was up at the police station today, and it looks really good. The furniture's in there,
Yeah.
Dane, what was the other gentleman's name?
Jim?
Jim, and our summer help. When you people, when this opens up, and I'm sure we'll give a tour again, it really, it amazes me the rehab that took place in there. It really looks good.
Dave, do you speak to anything on regarding the public safety or personnel?
There was nothing discussed, we waited,
Nobody, police,
we needed information.
chief didn't? Did you want to schedule a meeting this month or for this month?
I think we should, if we're looking at the timeline we discussed about trying to get the police station up and running, there's still more equipment that has to be, especially the computers.
Right.
Desiree, she didn't designate any days, right?
I'm not sure what her schedule is. At this point, I think, go by what you're available, Dave, and I'll make those, and
Invite her, at least you have.
Dave,
well, yeah, we'll ask her to come, but if she can't make it, we can't, I don't know how to work around her schedule anymore.
why don't you make it one a week on different days? Like one on a Tuesday, one on a Wednesday, one on a Thursday?
I can't do Wednesdays for teaching. I'm teaching, so I can't do Wednesdays, but I can do any after that.
Tuesdays?
Yeah, Tuesdays are good.
That way they're scheduled.
Well, for now, yeah, just schedule for both of you.
And if you don't hold them,
Yeah,
And then get a hold of her, and she can make it that, and then cancel the rest of it.
Well, we're probably gonna need more than one. I mean, there's still a lot more.
Sure.
So whatever's good for you, I can make in the evening.
Tuesday's always good for you, Dave?
Yeah, I think so, maybe not tomorrow, but,
Well, we gotta let Rob know. We gotta give him notice so he can try to make these
So the
two.
16th through the 30th, I'm good.
6 o'clock?
That's fine.
So what are we doing, meeting each week
Yeah.
on Tuesdays?
Do you want to do that? That's good.
At what time? 6 p.m.?
Maybe 6.
16, 23, and 30?
At 6 p.m.?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, anything else, Dave? Matt, good, public safety? I guess they had the same problem with the legal, Desiree couldn't make it, we did talk on the phone a little bit. We're working on both of us agreed to work on the landlord ordinance and the big book. So we're working on the big ordinances and we're also working on the landlord ordinance. And I want to schedule a meeting.
That's coming up.
What's that?
The rental property inspection program. There's several dates for it.
Okay.
Didn't Steve give you information on landlord agreement with?
Yeah, we have his ordinance.
So you
We
want
just,
to go over that?
that's what we're doing.
Okay.
That's what we're doing. We're just gonna make it for us. There's a couple of changes we need to make and it's almost ready to go. I'm gonna make a meeting for the 16th of April at 6 p.m.
You already on schedule for next Tuesday at 6 p.m.
I mean 6:30?
How
They scheduled
how
one
long is
for
the safety committee?
the 16th, 23rd, and 30th.
An hour, so don't schedule it for 6:30.
I'll schedule it for,
We can always get in another room if you want.
yeah,
It's up to you.
I think I'll be the only one there.
You argue with yourself?
I don't know what quarter was it. I'm gonna, yeah, we can do it in the other room. If we do it. Or in the office. Utilities Committee?
We met and we still have an ongoing discussion on the possibility of raising the rates from a flat rate to a usage rate.
You want to say changing?
Yeah, we're not,
We're all over this.
we're not raising rates,
Changing.
we're lowering the rates.
So, how about another meeting on April the 10th, 6 o'clock?
That's good.
Bob,
Sorry?
good? April 10th, 6 o'clock?
No, April 10th, no.
11th?
No.
You doing taxes?
Sorry?
Are you doing taxes?
No.
Taxes, April 15th? No.
Can't do Tuesday. How about the 17th?
Yes.
Well, no. 18th?
I have a rec board.
When are you available?
23rd.
23rd? 23rd, 6 o'clock?
No, we got a meeting.
You can make it 6:30.
6:37?
7? Well,
Right, so Jan, how are you gonna be in two places at once?
7 o'clock, he said. Didn't he?
Well,
How about the
there's
24th?
two committees going
it's good
on.
with me.
Well, that's-
24th?
No, you're gonna have one in the other room.
He doesn't have to, he can run back.
How about the 24th? 24th,
Yes.
6 o'clock.
There you go.
Good,
Good?
yeah.
Okay. Dave, 24th, 6 o'clock.
Anything on recreation? Dave, can you speak to recreation? Then I guess you can't speak.
It's not on recreation, I can't speak to it.
All right.
What we are going to be looking into is equipment that has been asked for.
For the,
We're gonna ask for some of that grant money for the equipment.
okay, for the playground?
Yes.
Would you like to schedule a meeting for this month to kind of put that together? Or,
Who's the third
Rec is
Jeff?
again?
Jeff.
And
Pete and Bob, so I mean, yeah, at least you got 2 voting members. And,
you
well,
wanna do one without Jeff?
we just let him know, he's still got a little baby at home, so probably get no sleep. But we can schedule a meeting and then,
Well, then that would make him come down here.
little,
Sorry.
bring his little baby.
So what day are you good for, Jed?
Anything but the Tuesdays and the 24th.
To the 25th. How about we do this? We do this the 25th and the 29th at 6 o'clock. Get a hold of Jeff, both those dates, and whichever one he can make, he can, and we'll cancel the other one.
Okay.
I'll send the letters out in
Okay,
time
thank you.
for Memorial Day, because if they don't do them now, we're not gonna have the people.
All right, on the grants, good news.
No, not good news. Jude, this is for you.
It's
Um,
true D.
Judy. Geez, if you're gonna yell at me right off the bat.
I didn't yell, I just corrected you.
I brought Trudy in to ask her opinion on a piece of equipment to get, and I thought 15,000 would give us 5,000 left to get this done. And Trudy found a nice piece of equipment for $15,049 with free delivery.
Wow.
In talking to the company, that was for a piece of equipment, that particular piece of equipment would have had been ordered then to get the free delivery. Now, we can't do that unless we get the grant. So I got deeper into the DCNR grant that supposedly provides $20,000 for small communities. It treats that $20,000 grant for a small community the same as if you were asking for $1 million. An engineer would have to do the map and design of where the thing was going. That would be $6,500. The mulch that has to be certified, about $3,000. And because we would order it later after we got the grant, delivery wouldn't be free. That would be $1,500 for delivery of the equipment. And that's unassembled.
Let me talk to the lady, I'll get it for free.
Okay.
So you have about $11,000 of that just used up for that part. And that doesn't include putting in the cement, setting the posts, assembling it, all that labor, clearing out the area. I would think you might have enough left for a swing set. But the hardest part to get over is this engineering map and design, which the engineer needs a lead time at least like a month and a half. And we would have to put that money out up front. So I'm sorry to say, I don't think we're going to be getting the grant. I'll put in for it without the engineer having created the map and see if they'll accept it later, but I really don't think so. I had to call an advisor to even start this. Oh, and here's another interesting thing you all like. To get approval to put a playground in an existing park, I had to go to the Conservation Heritage website and apply for a permit to make sure we weren't disturbing the habitat of species and worms or whatever. I had to get a permit to say it's okay to put that playground equipment in a park. The bureaucracy is like,
Geez, just for a swing set.
and this is the time I wish for the good old days when you could just say, let's put in a basketball court.
Right.
You know?
And then just pave it and put it up.
So I don't count on the $20,000.
So the only thing that's holding us back to get this grant is the cost of the equipment. So all we have to do is pick out something that's less than 15,000.
No, it's the requirement to have a map done by an engineer.
Sure. Okay, that's fine.
And it's a topographical map. You gotta show the
Okay.
topography, you have to show the
So then
sidewalks.
you take the 20,000, you subtract the cost of that, subtract the cost of that, and then you say, this is how much we have for the equipment.
And that's not guaranteed, it's not guaranteed we're gonna get the grant.
Okay?
And in talking to the advisor, he didn't sound too thrilled about giving us $20,000.
So,
I don't think we're gonna get the grant.
oh, well, that's
You're taking
being
a chance,
optimistic, I guess.
you're taking a chance on spending money.
It's nothing but optimism. You had to talk to this guy. He told me outright, I've got bigger projects and up to $60,000, and those communities have everything done already. It's like these communities,
So it sounds like we need to get this stuff done in order to get grants.
yeah, but to get it done, you're gonna have to put, you're gonna approve putting the money
If we want
out
grants, then we're gonna have to.
for an engineer to develop something that,
Got it. So what you're saying is I'm not putting in for grants because I don't want to put any money.
no, I'm saying I'm not putting in the grants because we don't have everything we need prepared.
So why can't we get it prepared?
Because an engineer needs a month and a half lead time to create these maps and,
Okay.
This has got to be done by May.
no, this
Oh,
has to be
yeah, we
done,
have a deadline.
has to be done by April 10th.
Oh, geez, that's 2 days.
We only had a month and a half, we only had a month and a half notice of this.
So there's a deadline. So
Yeah.
basically, we had a deadline.
No, we'll be better prepared next time.
Well, I can only suggest if you want to be better prepared for a DCNR grant,
Yeah.
plan what project you have, put out the money up front for the engineer so that it's all done. When a grant comes up, you put it in. But then you're
That's exactly.
you're still taking a chance, you're not gonna get the grant.
Well, at least we're prepared. We could put, we could have our engineer prepare for that. And then whatever we decide to get, there won't be the last one that's out there.
You have to feel comfortable spending $7,000 on taking a chance of getting nothing and losing $7,000.
For a project that may never happen.
What are the rules if we budgeted for it and did it on our own? Like say if we just spent that 15,000 and bought it and put it together, like do we?
Well, that would be the finance committee saying, do we have enough money for this? And
Well, it's basically cost us 11,000 to spend 15,000.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Then if we could spend 15 and just do it, I mean, we have to do it right,
Absolutely.
obviously, but.
Yeah,
So I see what you mean, good question.
But then
We have to go to the same, we have to go to the same scenario if we did it, out of our pocket.
No, if we pay for it out of our
So
pocket,
yeah.
we wouldn't need the stuff that goes along with it. We wouldn't have to get an exemption from the heritage.
The only reason we had to do that is because of the grant.
Yes.
Because the DCNR wants everything.
Yes.
And I would guess we hopefully would need that $6,500 map, which is a huge thing there.
If you apply for the grant.
No, if we just did it on our own.
If we did it
the
on our
borough just
own.
goes and buys it and.
I think if we did it on our own, the council.
Well, we would find out what we need if we did it on our own.
Right.
And then we would have to budget for it. So it's not gonna happen until next year anyway.
What's that?
I'm sure there's rules, you know, there's rules.
Absolutely.
Certain
Yeah, you
rules
can't
has to be
just do
so
this.
deep.
Right, so.
That
I
is
mean,
something we can do.
It's just something that rec committee might look into, maybe give some recommendations too.
For next year, absolutely.
All right, good. Anything else on grants?
No.
Not good
No
news.
meetings.
Well, it was indifferent news.
All right, unfinished business? So the generator, we're gonna hold off on that until we get, because we can get grant money and get those 3 generators.
Yeah, and the other thing is that the people up at the 911 center are willing to help us with that grant application and
Beautiful.
make sure it's done properly. That's the key.
Any new business?
When we travel.
Travel? Yeah. Did you just?
Which one are you looking for?
Bill, I don't have.
Get on this one?
You should have 3 of them.
Should I have 3 from Robert Lewis and then 1 from Robin Haney and Dan DePaul. So 3 for Bob. 1 is for Municipal Police Department Supervision, 430. 1 is for the Ethics Act for elected and appointed officials. So the first one is 210. The second one is $75 on the 11th. And the third one is on the 17th for $195, rental property inspection program. A motion to approve travel request for Robert Lewis. 411, 417, and 430.
I'll make the motion.
All right, I need a second. So it's a total of $480.
That's if I'm not going to use a company car. If I'm going to use a company car, that's how, it's less.
There's still the cost of the car, right?
No, if I use, we have 5 vehicles now. Why couldn't I use one of those?
Are they registered and ready?
The 2 Jeeps are.
All right, I got a motion second. We'll move on. Travel request, Rob Mahady and Dan DePaul. $300, 150 times 2 is $300. It's on the 8th. Municipal Police Department supervision and oversight. Motion to approve this travel request.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
No, sir.
Any discussion?
Where's this being held at?
Joan, is this in Bath?
This one's in Bath.
How did they specify that meeting? Was it for police chief? Was it for police chief and mayor, or police chief, mayor, and council? Do you remember?
It's just sent out as
Just
a regular.
announcement?
It's
So,
sent out as a regular PSAB webinar conference.
so what is the 150 for, the conference fees?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
150 piece. I think whatever vehicle will take, I can drive it back.
Okay.
Are you taking one of the borough vehicles? I mean, because you don't have a cost here for,
No, there will be no cost.
you're not gonna charge the borough mileage?
Just the event price.
I never charge the borough anything, everybody knows that.
Well, you're charging them $150.
Well, that's just for. How do you know I'm not paying for it?
Yeah, we know that, come on.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Need to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Okay, any more public comment? Trudy?
How close are you to swearing in your new police chief?
We'll defer that to the mayor. I don't want to put you on the spot.
I think everything at the police station is ready to accept computers. We have 2 contacts because there's situations on police frequencies and storage and everything. And I'm hoping to get that information this week. We need computers in the building. And alarm system will be coming in this month. So we're pretty close.
Somebody asked me, because I know that I come down here, I said, I don't want to ask.
We're pretty close, but I want to ramp outside the front door. That's another thing now. We're not overlooking it, we just didn't get to it yet.
There's a gun safe in there,
And we have that stuff now.
and 2-door workstation, and registration for police supervision. You guys got a lot on.
And you can see the parking lot, we have a car lettered. And the white one that sits next to the Explorer, that's the one I got from Palmer Township.
That's a nice little car.
And actually, it was really bad looking, and Dana and I washed it up and cleaned it up. And these are little, it might need a power steering box, which is no big deal. But for free,
Yeah.
cleaned up nice.
All right, I have another question.
Anybody that knows me knows I've said for the longest time, we're not close, we're not close. I'm now ready to say we're close.
Did I read or see this correctly, that there's 3 council seats open for this year's election?
Well, there are 3 up for election. not
Re-election.
actually
Who
open.
are they? Can you tell?
There's
Mr. Lewis,
Lewis.
Mr. Romana,
Dave,
and Mr. Bowash.
Because you know my concern there,
And there's a third.
Are you running?
There's a 4th candidate.
no. You don't want me to.
Yeah, and actually Ron Nixon is running also this year.
Who is?
Ron Nixon.
Ron Nixon.
I went down to voter registration and saw 4 candidates for 3 seats. And one of them was Ron Nixon that used to be on
Well,
council.
he used to be on.
But he left council because he had a family thing with his brother.
Well, his wife passed away.
His mom.
His
His
mom.
mother, yeah.
Yeah, his mom passed.
Anything else? Good.
And, our recycling, in order?
They're
they're sitting in the garage up there,
Very good.
and you'll be finding out at the newsletter mailing and or the sewer refuse mailing,
Right,
what arrangements have been made for when you can go up and pick one up.
the after Easter,
In the newsletter, something.
Facebook, website.
But they're here.
Yeah.
There's one thing I'd like to say about that, and it just hit me the other day. These are numbered. Let's just say they're numbered from 1 to 600. And I'm saying to myself, I live at 302. Maybe I'll get the can, I'll put in for the can that's marked 302.
2302.
So there's other 302s in West Easton, but first come, first served. So my name is in for that one, I think.
I have nothing to do with it.
It's a nice match.
I think we're planning on a few days during the week, and then a couple Saturdays for people to work during the week, so that they can get a can.
Up at the garage.
Yeah.
You got to sign for it, so we make sure it goes, and the people are responsible for it.
Well, too, every time it's windy, for some reason, there's garbage. Somebody's garbage is flying down Second Street. My 2 flower beds in front of my house that are in very bad shape now because of the winter, but they're full of garbage, empty water bottles, and I don't know what else is in there, but I have to dig all that stuff out when I start cleaning my flower beds out.
We can't control wind.
I know, but people can take care of their garbage cans.
I think some of it might be happening when they pick up on
I
a
think
windy
it's
day and they
garbage
dump it,
trash.
somebody gets away from them.
It is.
Yeah, they're not gonna chase it down.
I know,
No.
starting from lids,
See, people are supposed to put their, or
Tin
people should put their trash in a bag, and the bag goes in the can, and you won't have the stuff blown out when they're dumping it in, so.
But if you do have instances where, you know, we can send those complaints or comments to Vance, they've been somewhat receptive to us.
So people putting garbage out a day ahead of time.
Yeah, we have an ordinance on for that too. Not supposed
I
to
thought
put
it
it
was
up at
supposed to
5
be
o'clock.
after 5 or 7. And they're putting it out, and like you say, they just put a bag, I had a paper bag, you know, one of those shopping bags, going down the street. Now, who the heck puts out, you know, put it in a plastic bag, tie it. You know, so it's not gonna go down, you know, that's just the whole garbage bag.
That's been one of my pet peeves too, when people put out garbage like that morning and leave for work, and it's there all day long, and sometimes they'll put it out like the afternoon before the day of pickup, so it's there, you know, like from the morning all night, and the next morning it's picked up, and then they don't take the can in for 2 days.
Yeah.
I've seen that too.
So they sit in front of my house for a while, they just flatten it from the garbage, recyclables.
Now, I know that Waste Management used to have a thing that you could go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy that big thing that you can throw stuff in and they would come and pick it up. Does our garbage service have that?
You mean a
There's
dumpster?
bags,
Like a
there's
dumpster
bags,
bag.
green bags, there's dumpster bags.
Bagster? Yeah.
You
Does
mean
our
like yard
garbage
bags,
service
like,
have
as long as it's, was it 50 pounds or under, 2 guys can
No,
lift it,
no,
nothing,
no.
but
No,
not
you know, here-
Waste Management has like
The bagster, it's called- it's a dumpster, but they call it bagster.
There's one right up by you, Dan, that somebody set out on the other side of the street down behind us.
You mean a regular dumpster or a bag
There
dumpster?
was a bag,
Is it from Advance?
Handles on them,
Is it from Advance or?
just sits there.
This one here, who comes and
Oh,
So
gets it?
what I'm saying is,
Who picks them up?
They're cleaning out that house. That's
you can go to the-
they can get,
She's saying there's
a
no-
resident can request any kind of service for a dumpster and notify the office that they get a permit for that. So they're cleaning out that house on Ninth Street.
but this isn't like a regular dumpster.
Yeah, no, it's a
bag.
It's like a polyester bag kind
Like
of
a
thing.
canvas bag or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
like that, yeah, I know what you mean.
But you can put a lot of stuff in it, and then they come, you make arrangements with them, and they come and they pick it up.
We
Well, I'm
can-
gonna go to Home Depot and get that.
Yeah, you can ask, but
I mean, I
it
can
costs,
contact Advance and find out,
I'm sure they.
but what you're talking about is something Advance Disposal actually sells through a retail location like Home
Yeah.
Depot, and part of the cost that you're paying for is for them to come pick it up.
But if I go to Home Depot and get one, is there gonna be a conflict of interest with the service that we have now?
no.
No.
So,
Okay.
You can hire anyone in there.
So you still get billed for, fancy clothes.
Thank you.
One more question. John, what's going on up in front and center?
I need more specifics.
Well, then someone should ride up there and just ride down Center to Front Street and just keep their eyes straight ahead and they'll see what I'm talking about.
Well, then why don't you tell us now instead of keeping
Well,
us in
Well,
anticipation?
everybody else rides around. He's doing some kind of construction, all right?
Looks
He's
like
got the
you're
whole thing dug up.
a
Okay.
deck
You
wall.
mean 302 front, Leon?
I don't know what
Where did you go
The one
around?
that, with the big area on the side yard?
Yeah.
With the chicken coop or whatever
Yeah.
you got? They're up to something again?
Looks like they're putting a deck on the back.
I don't know, the deck or addition or whatever.
Yeah, they have permits to do
How
that.
long is this, oh, they have permits.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I wanted to
So
know.
it's on the corner.
See, that's why you have to be some-
See, if you call the office, Leon, you would find out they have a permit.
Yeah, then I'm branded.
Then you're what?
Then I'm branded. Just like I've been saying about curb holes. Now, you people up here, and I told Dan, and I think I told
Yeah.
him. Now, that guy covered more than 75% of his property, but every time I ask a question, the zoning guy said it's good. Don't tell me it's good. He only has, you put a big porch over the back, and you're only supposed to cover 50% of your property for impervious surface. And he's got over 3/4 of it. And every time I said something, it just went out like, oh, the inspector. I mean, is all this stuff being inspected? Is it electrical? Joan don't know. Don't we get a piece of paper saying that the plumbing was inspected? The
No.
electric was inspected? Was it insulated? Do you get a piece of paper saying all
I
this
don't
stuff?
have anything on his property now, but I know I told Joe to make sure he pays attention.
Yeah, don't you think the borough should have a record?
Yeah, Joe's supposed to give a record, and I'll say this to you, Leon. If he's covering more land than it's supposed to, and the code enforcer isn't doing anything, I would say to this council, get a new code enforcement agent.
Well, I said that before.
Well, I'm saying it now.
Well, you ride up there and you look at it, and you tell me that I'm full of crap, because he's got more property covered there now, like I said, he put that roof on the back, he's got the shed there, and his property only ends where that big pine tree is, 2 foot before the pine tree going in, because my son had his property surveyed, and there's a pin there. Now, you can't tell me that's 50 feet all the way up.
Joe, why don't you make a note of that?
Let's check that
Ask
out.
Joe what the story is, what's the
Well, I know
property
he-
measurements,
when he
what's
first-
the area covered?
When he first did the zoning for it, because to me, it looked like it was literally right up to it. And I explained to him the history of that.
And what, and he's telling everybody it's okay?
Yeah.
Code enforcement.
Leon thought maybe he was counting.
I'll agree with Leon, it's not done right.
Because the zoning guy went up there and he said he owns all of Second Street, that paper Second Street, which he only owns 25 feet of. And you can't build on that. You can't calculate that into your, you know,
The paper alley, the street or whatever.
paper street.
Yeah. I understand. Hey, I agree with you.